that are in phase 3, are they going to be available to the American population on, you and I talked previously about this idea of right to try.
Right.
Can we assure the American people that if it's being studied and it's in phase 3, you have that right?
You know, it's a great question, and I'm not sure a lot of people have been thinking about right to try. We're all waiting for the final answer. And maybe I could ask Stephen, but I would say that right to try is exactly if somebody is virtually terminal, in other words, they're not going to make it, and if we have these incredible therapies and drugs that are happening, Alex, I think it's a very interesting question. I congratulate you for that question because I think we're all waiting for that exact final endpoint. What about that, Stephen? We have all of these great, seemingly great answers that are ready to come out, but because of the process it takes, can we use some of this early under right to try, please?
So it's a really good question, and of course, it all depends on the clinical circumstances and what a doctor and a patient together decide with respect to the administration of any agent. But if you think about what happened with convalescent plasma and the expanded access program, this is exactly what happened. This program, so we have ongoing clinical trials that are randomized between placebo or an inactive substance and the convalescent plasma. While that was going on, we knew that there was great demand from patients and doctors. The expanded access program is a way of actually doing that and fits perfectly with what the president just said about allowing people to be able to use something that we have now determined to be very safe.
I think that's something we have to really consider very strongly.
Yes, sir.
I think it's fantastic. You should get credit for that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, that's very good.
Mr. President.
Please go back. OAN?
Thank you, Mr. President. Convalescent plasma as a treatment has been around for nearly 100 years. You mentioned Operation Warp Speed, which enabled this process to move along a lot faster. What went into the effort for this to be approved for COVID-19, and was that holdup political in nature?
Well, I think that there might have been a holdup, but we broke the logjam over the last week, to be honest. I think that there are people in the FDA and actually in your larger department that can see things being held up and wouldn't mind so much. It's my opinion, a very strong opinion, and that's for political reasons. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with life and death. So we are being very strong and we are being very forthright, and we have got some incredible answers, and we're not going to let them be held up because every day is lives, and we're not going to let that happen. Okay? Very good. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Mr. President, in announcing this today, you said that the FDA has made the independent determination that the treatment is safe and very effective. Yet Dr. Hahn just said it was showing promising efficacy. So which of the two is correct?
Well, I think I'll let Dr. Hahn answer that question.
So under our legal authority for emergency use authorization, this is not the same as an approval, but it's an authorization and allows us to expand the access to this. And our data, we know we're going to continue to collect data. We knew that for all of our emergency use authorizations. So for example, remdesivir, which was approved or authorized on May 1st, we're still collecting data, and we will continue to do that with plasma as well. So it's the nuances of the language around the authorization that we use in the legal aspects to it.
It's a promising treatment. It's not, you couldn't say it's very effective just yet.
So I would say that if you're one of those 35 out of 100 people who these data suggest or show survive as a result of it, this is pretty significant for that person and their family.
Okay.